Good evening, everyone. I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much for joining me. You can help me out by thumbs up my videos and sharing my videos, and make sure you're still subscribed. I'm going to talk about the earthquakes that are continuing there in South Carolina. USGS has not reported any earthquakes in almost 3 days since the 3rd of this month, and today is July 6th, 2022. But they are in fact still happening. Here is one at 2350, which would be universal time. This here is a magnitude 1.64, and I'll show you the seismic signature. There was actually several earthquakes. We got another small one right there, and let's pull it down. This is what it was showing when I pulled the files. Yeah, it looks a little small there, don't it? I don't know if I can make it bigger or not. There's another one. I'll cover this one marked in red at 1621, which would be about 1221 their time. That would be this afternoon. I want to read to you some little notes from the Los Angeles Times. This was an article published in 2019 about earthquakes. You know how they're constantly saying that a bigger earthquake isn't coming. But there is a rule to seismology that will probably come as a disappointment to many. Earthquakes don't actually reduce the risk of future quakes. They increase them. Every earthquake actually increases the probability of more earthquakes. In fact, earthquake scientists actually model quakes like disease epidemics. It's based on the idea how a contagion spreads to a population. Earthquakes are like that in general. If there are a lot of earthquakes going on, it's more probable for a large earthquake to go on. While earthquakes do relieve stress to some areas around them, we become less safe after earthquakes because they redistribute the stress and could push other faults in the area to failure. So just because they haven't published that there's any earthquakes going on, this is for the last 7 days, and if I go for the last day, absolutely nothing. They want you to believe that everything is normal, nothing to see, just move along. So this earthquake at 12:21 this afternoon local time came in as a magnitude 2.39. Yep, didn't happen. There's its seismic signature, and I'll bring it down so you can actually see it for those of you that have larger computers or laptops or your TV. 2.39. See that at the bottom? MD 2.39. This is from the monitor JSC. Okay, so here's the one, JSC, and here we have the other one, BIRD. Actually, they're 55 miles apart. So this earthquake that I just showed you here on JSC also shows up on BIRD. And then we got some smaller ones more recent, and we got another one right there at 2009. And this one too shows up on 2 monitors. So it's not traffic or road construction, anything of the sort. Now, if I was doing this report about Yellowstone, they couldn't use the excuse that it was stampeding buffalo or snowmobiles or whatever excuse they like to use. This earthquake comes in as a magnitude 2.13. Well, maybe they decided, USGS, that they're not going to report the earthquakes and they just are going to hand it over to me to do it for free. That's an idea. What do you think about that? There's its seismic signature. 1321, there's another earthquake. Shows up again on both monitors. It's probably a little bit closer to Lugoff. Am I pronouncing that right? I don't know. So this one would have occurred at 9:46 a.m. and that would have been local time. This earthquake would have been at least a magnitude 2.39. And I really shortened up the seismic signature. Let me bring it up and show you. Yeah, these earthquakes are all very shallow. And I shortened it there, but I probably should have extended it even longer. At 10:46 p.m. there was a whole series of earthquakes. I'll show you that one there. And where's this one at? Let's see, 3:11. Now that's universal time. Another one there, and another one there, and another one there. Let's look at the seismic signature. Yeah, we'll go back. One there, a bunch of them there. Yep, none of them happened. It was your imagination. I suppose I could divide these up into separate earthquakes. We got tremors, slow-moving tremors. I talked about that. We got the fault line or fault lines. The North American plate slowly moving towards the west. They were shallow. See, it's up towards the top. So more than likely about 2 miles below sea level. All earthquakes are measured at sea level, and this location is about 400 feet above sea level. I picked out one of them that was more easy for me to distinguish. It comes back as a magnitude 1.88. And we'll look at the spectrogram there. Again, a very shallow earthquake. This one here comes back as a 1.83. It was a little bit deeper. I'll show you the spectrogram. We'll go back to its signature. Yeah, it was going on for, let's see, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and I cut it off. And here you can see it's tectonic in nature. We got sharp points. Here's an example of 2 earthquakes that came so fast that just boom, boom. Yeah, so if you thought you felt 2 quakes, 3:18 universal time at about 11:18 p.m. local time. Well, yeah, a lot of people I think are getting more earthquake sensitive, so they're feeling these. Here's another example at 10:59 of slow moving tremors, and then we got, yeah, look at that, pop, 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 pop. Let's extract that so you can see that. See all the individual little shakers that were going on. This one right here, that comes in as a magnitude 1.0. Yeah, they're just not reporting them. And that happened at about 4:04 p.m. That would have been today. I think I had the time off on this one. 20:09. That would have been 4:09 today. Yeah, I think I gave the wrong time for that one. That would have been local time. And then we got some more little ones over here. More recently. Let's see. 23:56. That would have been 6:56. That would have been 7:56 this evening. That would have been a magnitude 1.26. And let's take a look at its seismic signature. Here we have the stream view. Yeah, there's a whole bunch happening right now, isn't there? Let's extract that. Yeah, more tremors, slow moving earthquakes. Yeah, I keep telling you, you got a big one coming. And they figured, I guess, if they don't report them, then they didn't happen, and you guys are just, I don't know, earthquake paranoid. See, it's still coming in. And this is what it's currently showing. You can see July 7th, Thursday, and once again, this is all universal time. So I certainly pray you don't have a large one. But, yeah, when you have earthquake swarms, like I said, it's just an indication that pressure has built. Stress is moving somewhere. It's not going away. So what are your thoughts? Put those comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Please stay safe, and I will talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.